All right, welcome to another episode of NotOut Nomads. Today, we are bringing to you all the latest updates from the T20 World Cup. What a day one it was! Three matches, two absolute thrillers: the Pakistan versus the Netherlands match, and then the India versus US match. I have my co-host Rajat here with me once again. What a
Hello,
game!
hi Rakshit. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing, and I think there's never been a better first T20 World Cup day that I've seen. Two thrillers. I mean, the Pakistan game was obviously closer than the India US game, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think we can start off with the Pakistan Netherlands game. What a
yeah,
game!
we can definitely start with that. Three games and lots to talk about. And it's interesting how it's all scheduled. So yeah, let's start with that one. That was the opening
Um,
match of the tournament.
Pakistan lived up to its sort of credibility of making heavy work out of something that was easy and very
Yeah,
very doable.
yeah,
It was not that bad a wicket in Colombo. I thought it was stopping on and coming on a little slower onto the bat, but it wasn't like a crazy wicket that you couldn't bat on, right? And
yeah.
I think at the halfway stage, I thought the way the Netherlands batsmen were going, especially their captain, they could have easily put on another 10, 15, 20 runs. And I think at the end of it, that one drop catch in the end and those 10, 15 runs turned out to be the difference. Um, but even after seeing that innings from Fahim Ashraf,
Yeah.
I just thought that Pakistan should have had that in the bag. Like 5 overs.
Yeah, I mean, when we're looking at this, we're like, okay, I think Netherlands could have got to a 160, 170. They're a bit under par
Mhm.
because they're looking really comfortable into getting that. So that was 10, 15 runs short to begin with. And then Pakistan being unpredictable. So this should have been an easy chase from all means. 148 to be chased is not a big total at all.
Yeah.
Then there starts a collapse in the middle. First, like 16 runs, you lose like 4, 5 wickets, and it's suddenly becoming like, okay, Netherlands game to lose from here. Netherlands can't lose from here because what happened was about, so it went down to this like 30, 31 runs required of 2 overs.
Mhm.
And Pakistan had lost what 7 wickets at that point of time. So you're like, okay, now Netherlands definitely has a chance. 15 runs per over would be tricky. Come at the 19th over, you see a drop catch. Fahim Ashram changes gear or shifts gear. He goes up, hits boundaries, hits sixes, and then that margin reduces. And then the last over, you're like, okay, now
They lost
they're
it in
winning
the
this.
19th over itself. I think he gave away, what, 25 runs in that over? Uh,
That's right. That's right. 25 runs. Yeah.
Again, you can say inexperienced, but he was just bowling that one middle stump line, length
Yeah.
balls, giving it in his arc. I've never seen Fahim Ashraf bat as well, or I've not seen him even bat as much. But
Yeah.
those were in up his alley, and he just swung away and connected all three sixes, right? And I think
Right.
a boundary or two. So yeah, I just think Netherlands gave away a golden chance. If they would have,
Yeah.
caused this upset, then
Yeah.
the table would have opened up in Group A, right? India is in Group A.
India's in Group A. That's right.
So yeah, I just thought, and then Pakistan would have been forced to come for that India game after that,
India match.
because they would have
That's
no
right.
option. They Yeah, it's already silly that they're trying to even boycott the India game, but after this,
Yeah.
for sure, they would have to come, right? Um,
That's right.
I was just sort of hoping that there could have been an upset wherein you might see a Pakistan show up for sure, right? Like even now, it's
Right.
uncertain as to when if
Yeah.
they come or not on the 15th.
Yeah.
Uh, so we'll see how that eventually plays out. But what a game!
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
a
Pakistan ends up winning this one by 3 wickets, which is kudos to them for staying, I think, positive, believing in themselves to the very last moment and closing the match. So
I
they
don't
get
think
a
it
net run
was.
rate of now plus 0.24, which is just all right. You've got a victory. It's not a big victory. So just 0.24 plus is what Pakistan stands at the conclusion of the first match.
So I think Pakistan, yeah, regardless of net run rate, they're going to have a tough time against at least the US team.
Yeah.
So it was even more important given the way US has shown in the last two games, first in the warm up game and then the match against India, which we'll
Yep.
talk about. But I think it's they have a task up their sleeve to win both those games.
Right.
And then US needs one victory, and then they have Netherlands. So I think US can defeat Netherlands and maybe Pakistan. And you never know,
Mhm.
you might see an India and US qualify from this group. Uh, and
Nothing. So that
Pakistan,
had happened last time. It's a possibility that it can happen again. We'll just have to wait and watch.
but I just think Pakistan doesn't show up for the India game and they're out. I don't think they'll be allowed to compete in the rest of the tournament. So
Hmm.
it'll be interesting to see
So
how
do
it.
you want to talk about that? Like what's going on with them showing up and
Yeah,
trying to?
I've only heard reports, and this
Okay.
is this is sort of a discussion going on X, where
Yep.
Pakistan has sent something called a force majeure to the
Okay.
ICC, and a force majeure
Right.
is essentially uh, a decision or an understanding which allows you to get away from a contractual obligation or to not fulfill a contractual obligation. And
Okay.
this happens usually when there's a calamity, there's a disaster, or there's a war, or if there's a
Right.
pandemic like situation where you can't fulfill a certain contract that you may have signed. And
Yep.
this is what apparently Pakistan has sent to the ICC, citing security reasons. Uh,
Okay.
but I don't think they've actually mentioned the word security reasons. They've just sent that force majeure. Now, the ICC has replied back to them saying, what is the reason or the exceptional case for the force majeure? There's no security issues.
Yep.
And I think Pakistan has said that they want to uh, come to a dialogue and have some discussions around. I think obviously trying to figure out a middle ground, and I think that
Yep.
middle ground. I mean, I'm not jumping to any conclusions here, but it's obvious that ICC will tell them that if you don't pay, there'll be sanctions on you, and there'll be penalties going forward as well. So
Right. Right. Right.
we'll have to
Yeah.
go. Uh,
Yeah.
so so yeah, I think that's the latest update that is doing the rounds at least on X. I don't know how much if there's any veracity to these reports, but I believe at the end of the day, Pakistan will show up. There will
Yep.
be a U-turn. They cannot afford to not show up, and I've been saying this on this channel in the last
Yep.
couple of episodes where the financial loss and the loss to credibility and the whole cricketing infrastructure, which is already in doldrums in Pakistan, is massive.
Right.
So they
Yep.
cannot afford to not show up. And to India, it doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day, it's 30-40 million dollars, 200, 300 crores. It's not a big deal. India can do away with the without even playing in ICC World Cups or ICC events, but Pakistan cannot.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they show up.
Especially after especially after the fact that they had a close victory against Netherlands, I think they'll have to rethink their decision, or they'll have. I'm pretty sure there'll be calls going from Colombo to Islamabad, a lot of dialogue between with the government that I mean we would want to play or whatever. I don't know how the decision making works. Obviously, the PCB would be talking with the government officials.
Yeah, but with Pakistan, you never know what's happening in the back channels versus what they say in the media. In
Right.
media, I think they were boasting off about some journalist had on X had said, I think it was Vikrant Gupta who had said that, uh, who had basically reported about this force majeure thing, and I guess the media manager of the PCB had said denied the claim
Yep.
by saying that the ICC reached out to them first and not PCB reaching out to the ICC. I mean, come on. At the end of the
Yep.
day, what does it matter who reaches out to whom when you're
Yep.
ready to have a dialogue? So So yeah, Pakistan will do all this drama in public. Eventually, they will have to show up, and whatever they might say to the media, there are different things happening in the back channel. So
Uh,
yeah, I mean, we'll see. I guess they will eventually end up playing.
all right. Okay. That's interesting insights that you've shared about how things are shaping up with respect. It's non-cricket part, but since it's part of the tournament, we're just having it covered. So
Mhm.
now I think we should go to the next match, which took place between West Indies and Scotland.
Yeah, I didn't follow that
So,
as much. Did you happen to follow it?
yeah, I was having a look at how things are shaping up and how the match was going. So, earlier, when West Indies won the toss, they're playing at the Eden Gardens, Kolkata,
Yeah.
and it was a complete day match, you can say. Just before evening time, it just the match concluded. So West Indies, so their batsmen Shimran Hetmaya hitting the fastest half century for a West Indian, hitting 50 off 22 balls, and he was like they started slow in the power play. They got some 33 runs in the first 6 overs. Pretty cautious approach later. And then Hetmaya made the difference. So he went with that 180, 200 strike rate, which was
Mhm.
much needed. And West Indies ended with a total of 182, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 182, which was being considered a bit below par because of the ground and because of West Indies batting depth that they've got. So they're like, okay, they're 10, 20 runs short over here for sure.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's how the West Indies batting panned out. And then yeah, you had Powell, you had Rutherford. Though they were small knocks, they were impactful innings. They went with 200 strike rate, so they were able to get to that 180. It was Edma's brilliant batting followed by these crucial knocks towards the end.
Right. I think
So yeah,
182 on in a Calcutta wicket is a pretty decent score when you know that there is some turn and
right.
you know, there is some grip that you get
Yep.
typical Eden Gardens wicket. Yeah, I
Yep.
just think yeah this West Indies lineup, even though it has a Shimron Hertmeier, it has a Rahman Powell, Shafin Rutherford, the middle
Yep.
order is pretty stacked. Even a Romario Shepherd. Uh,
Yep.
just that feeling without Nicholas Puran, this West Indies side looks a little weak, uh,
Yep.
and they have a Shamar Joseph in their bowling along with a Jason Holder, who's sort of an
Right.
all-rounder. But I don't know. If there was a Nicholas Puran here, I would have had a lot more confidence in this side.
Right. Right.
Even
Right.
though this is a 180 against a Scottish side, sort of an
Yep.
association is a good win, is a good start, but.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see how this particular group pans out. I still
Yep.
think it'll be West Indies who qualify. I think the other team in this group is which is it, New Zealand? Oh no,
England.
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 England, right? So it most likely will be West Indies and England. But again,
Yep.
beyond the group eight stage, I don't know if West Indies will
Yep.
be able to advance.
Yeah. Yeah, this one was exciting. Just the Scotland's point of view with their batting. So their power play went much better. I think they had scored more than West Indies on the power play. And they're actually looking pretty solid at one point of time. There's like a 70, 75 run partnership between Tom Bruce and Richie Berrington. And they were set, and it was like, okay, now Scotland needs 68 runs in the last 7 overs to chase down the total. And you're like, okay, maybe they still have a chance. And that's what happens at crucial junctures when
Yep.
your set batsmen are there and when you lose both the wickets, that's when it gets difficult for the new batsmen. So they lost both their wickets, and then it just went downhill for Scotland from there. Because the new batsman needs time and all of that. Even if one of the set batsmen would have stayed, maybe the margin would have been much, much smaller. So
Yeah.
that's where Scotland sort of faltered in the match. Yeah, I feel the associate nations, whether it's Netherlands or Scotland, they just need to play more cricket with the test playing nations. That game's definitely going to improve. Because right now they're giving that minor scare to the other teams which are there. It's just those crucial junctures.
Yeah, I think
But
it's
yeah, let's.
experience
Yeah,
under pressure which shows, and yeah, this is a good segue into. the India-US game where you saw a similar kind
Yeah.
of thing, right? In the chase,
Yeah.
the difference between India and the US eventually was in the chase when the US batsmen were sort of not cruising. I would say they lost quick wickets, but I think when they were about around 90 or 80 odd, and there was a partnership of about 57 or 60 runs that was stitched between, I think it was Milind and Shubham, the
Yeah.
two batsmen. That's where they should have capitalized and closed out the game. And they were going at a decent run rate. Like at any
Right.
point, it didn't go above 8 9 runs.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's where they should have capitalized and just played the odd over where you're maybe getting only 4 or 5 runs, but still
Right.
not shouldn't have lost their wicket. Right? They should have just
Yeah.
stayed on and played on as long as they could. And
Yeah.
in that sort of process, when you come closer to the target, the inexperience showed that you come under pressure and you play one rash shot and give away your wicket, even though they were both well set and they were going at a steady rate. And we saw that even in the Netherlands game versus
Yeah.
Pakistan. The Netherlands was at least going to get about 165, 8 runs and over, a little over 8 runs and over, and they would have easily gotten about 165, 170. So
Yeah.
in the India-US game as well, we saw that in the middle order for the Americans. But that was one hell of a scare for the Indian top order for sure. Like
That's right. They were what, 70 for six at one point of time, if I'm not wrong. And
76. Yep.
you're like, where would India finish at? Because there was just Sky and you had lost all your batsmen till then.
Akshar
So
Sky controlled it.
yeah.
Of course, there were cameos from Ishan Kishan. He made a 20, and then Tilak Verma also was looking good. He made a 25 or I think 16 balls. So
Yeah.
they were looking set in the sense that you thought that okay, maybe one partnership will get us to at least about 111 12 overs.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case, and Sky batted like splendidly. The way he rotated strike, he was I think
Yeah.
20 of 20 balls.
Right. Right. Right.
Then
He started slow. That's right. Yeah.
he couldn't play his natural game because he was losing wickets at the other end. But
Yeah.
then he rotated strike, kept losing partners. Uh, Hardik also came and played a few shots, but he lost his wicket to a catch at mid off to
Yeah.
long. And then Akshar came and supported him a little bit. And then, of course, Arshdeep was there in the last few overs. But I just think 84 of around what, 40 odd balls, 49 if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
A proper captain's innings leading from the front when your back is against the wall,
Yeah.
just showing his true class. And we knew his form had come back in the New Zealand series, but to come out there in the first game of a World Cup and put your hand up and take that responsibility,
Right.
it was something to watch.
Yeah. It was also good to see from the bowling side that okay, Siraj was back into the squad because of Harshit Rana injury. DSP making
Yeah,
his debut, playing the first match, and then was able to take 3 wickets and bowl at a good economy. So it's like whoever comes in, shows up, will just perform in this team. That's the beauty of it.
Siraj picked up three. I think the power play was the key, right? The power play they gave away. I don't know, not more than 30 odd runs.
Yeah.
But that 6 overs, I think, sealed the game. 3 quick wickets, and then,
Yeah.
then from there it was all catch up for the Americans. Even though the middle order, like I mentioned,
Right.
Milind and Shubham, and I think there was one more batter who played pretty decently.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just weren't able to capitalize on the momentum, and I guess the scoreboard pressure after it crept up from 7 to 8 to 9 runs per over.
That makes it.
That
That
just,
definitely.
yeah, that kept them away from the target. So,
Yeah.
but a very interesting game. Still, India needs to ensure that their top order doesn't. It cannot. I hope it's only one bad day. It's not
Yep.
something that recurs in this tournament.
Okay, we'll definitely discuss about that. Thanks everyone for joining in, and yeah, looking forward to getting more updates. with all of you. Thanks, Harshit,
Stay
for
tuned. Please like, share,
your
and subscribe to
like, share, and subscribe.